Okay. So these are things that I am learning from being on my healing journey. Basically, we are all, no matter what you think, what you believe, where you are, I honestly can conceptualize we are all on various journeys throughout life. Whether you romanticize that journey or glorify that journey or embrace that journey, you really hold that journey sacred within you, is entirely up to you, and it's your perspective. Some people glide through life, choose to glide through life. Some people choose to kind of trudge through life. No matter what you decide to do or how you decide to live your journey is your way of doing it. And for me, it's not just necessarily one particular type of journey, it's a journey period, but it's a journey that is aligning me with what I believe to want out of life, and that is freedom. That is freedom to be, and I personally feel like I want that for the world. Definition meaning you have the ability to think, do, feel and be whoever you want, as long as I said, for the benefit and for the positivity of yourself. As humans, we should have been graced on this earth to live through love, live as freely and as kindly and as compassionately as humanly possible. Follow our dreams and our passions, our talents, and with all due respect, lead through our hearts. As a whole, humans are very powerful, and I've said this before, I've said this in videos, and when something so powerful and so great is existing, you are so benevolent and so good, sometimes the most malevolent and very bad don't like that. There's a famous quote, the puppet is free as long as it loves its strings. And that is honestly the way our world is kind of conducted right now. Whether you want to ask why, or whether you believe me or agree with me, is entirely up to you. Meaning that it's always been encouraged, especially for many generations, like generation upon generation, that you can only be as successful as these wealthy businessmen and wealthy entrepreneurs if you're willing to dedicate 20 years of your life to suffering and misery. And for the time that probably was true, because people didn't know what they're starting to know and believe now. Whereas now people are starting to, as I am, uncover that prosperity and abundance is having the ability to live life however you want. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you choose to live that life with a lot of physical material wealth. It can choose to be that you decide to live, I don't know, on a fucking farm with your own cattle and your own herd of sheep and goats, pigs, self-sustainable, drinking your own, you have your own water source, you eat your own homegrown food. To others it might be, for all we know, living by the sea, living on a boat, and that to people would look at that from the outside and be like, that doesn't look like that person's rich. But it's like, but that's the misconception, is they are so rich internally, they just choose to not spend their money on a fucking Cartier watch or a Louis Vuitton handbag. They choose to spend it on a really high quality sustainable boat that they can live on for a year. Because they can. This is the point. They can do that. And that should be the kind of motto for, I honestly think, every single person on this earth. Hustle culture does not have to be the be-all, end-all reason for you getting the life you want. It is not. Let me just put it plainly. It is not. I am not discrediting people who have gone out and had to suffer because of the situation that they were in, what the life that they grew up in, that they were born into. The point is as humans, we are such a beautifully intelligent race and beautifully stupid race. Easy manipulated and very good at manipulating. So when you actually insist on the idea that you don't need to suffer or grind and really kill yourself for your dreams, people tend to struggle to resonate with that because we have been so conditioned to think that. when really our minds are so interconnected with our hearts. And this is a very good thing that Joe Dispenza once said. If you know Joe Dispenza, he's a very smart, intelligent man who talks about things like this, about you creating your reality simply through your mind. And that is, when your mind is in coherence with your heart, you live life so beautifully. When you live with your heart in coherence with your mind, that's when you hold yourself in a state of lack and you feel like you're never going to achieve what you want or your dreams. And meaning that your heart is your creative outlet. Your heart is where you feel, it's where you love, it's where the passion comes in. Why do people say, my heart, I can feel it in my heart? It's because your heart resides with that strong energy of just being, that energetic sense that allows you to be human, to hold that empathy. And your mind is very intelligent, but has been very brainwashed and does things to self-sabotage you because of everything that we've been conditioned to believe and think about ourselves and this society. So what that means is, when your mind doesn't listen to your heart, then, and kind of thinks it very like separation, the illusion of separation, I can do this by myself. When you actually remind your mind that your heart is the most, or one of the most necessary outlets in not only your physical body but your energetic and spiritual body, that's when you'll start to see things that manifest emotionally and spiritually manifest physically. Why is it that all the successful people talk about manifestation? It's because it's real. It is real and it's true. And try to deny that, then clearly you are not in a very good state of abundance yourself. Sorry, not sorry. There are many people who I've met, especially from the job that I've worked at, that have told me, or kind of hold the attitude that you just have to know what you're doing, work hard, and then that's how you do it. And it's like, but it's so much more than that, because the funny thing is people who say that, they're in a state of what they would believe to be wealth or like abundant, but really they lack in so many areas, and then they question why they never progress in a certain state of life. You don't need to be brought to your knees in order to achieve. You might be asking, okay, well, if I don't need to do all this, how do I achieve what I want from what you're saying? I'm not going to say it's easy. Again, because of unlearning so much conditioning that has been built up over your entire life. There's a quote, another quote, it says, you can't expect 20, 40, 80 years of trauma to be healed within the span of 2 months, 4 months, 8 months. It's going to take time, but what I would honestly like stand on ground with is trust. And you think, who the fuck do I trust? And it's one of the scariest and hardest things to do, but you need to learn to trust yourself. I needed to learn to trust myself, and it's not going to be a matter of one day everything's perfect and you have nothing else to worry about or nothing's going to get in your way. Because to this day, even though I've come so far, there's still things that that you have to still not necessarily battle, but learn to flow with, learn to coincide with. There's always balance within things. Just because you feel a doubt or a negative thought, it doesn't mean that you're a negative or a doubtful person and that things aren't going to happen for you. But what it does mean is that you can acknowledge that thought, you can acknowledge that negative feeling and transmute it into something that actually benefits you. So it doesn't mean, oh, I'm feeling shit today. Oh, actually, I shouldn't say that. I'm going to feel positive. It's not about that, because what that does is that it actually it hides a part of you that is really in need of care and nurturing. There is no shadow without light. There is no light without shadow. And you shouldn't embrace one and then dismiss the other, because both coincide together for a reason. It's like yin and yang. The same with masculine energy and feminine energy. They coincide together because that's what provides balance. And balance provides peace. inner peace, when you find balance within yourself, then you gain peace within yourself. And that's one of the most important things to understand. If you want something to benefit you in this life, believe that it's going to help you feel better through love, through ultimate kindness and compassion. Give it to yourself. Seriously. That is how you'll find balance, is trust, patience, and love. Love isn't necessarily always easy, and sometimes love can feel like suffering, but a lot of you are smart enough to know the difference between what's really love and what isn't. And keep doing what you want to do. And just know that you don't need to suffer. There are times where you feel like you are suffering. I've been through it. We all have, some to different extents than others and some to less extents, but it doesn't matter, because as long as we are empathetic with one another and we can all embrace that it is a thing, then it becomes easier for us as a whole to generate a very strong and powerful basis for this world. Even when it does feel like suffering, just trust. Trust, because your wants, ambitions, and passions out of life are more important than anything or anyone who's trying to tell you otherwise. Thank you for your time.